Real estate is starting to feel like the wild, wild west again. And I'm seeing tactics out there that are so sneaky, they can make your eyebrows fall off. And trust me, I've seen enough in the last year alone to write a trilogy. The market is more competitive, more creative, and honestly, a little more ridiculous than it used to be. So today, I'm putting you on notice. Whether you're buying or selling in California, you need to know exactly what tricks are happening behind the scenes so you don't get blindsided halfway through a deal. Before we dive in, I'm Nathan King, your Fresno County real estate guy, whose hairline is holding on for dear life thanks to these exact scenarios. I make these videos to help California buyers and sellers avoid unnecessary stress, spot red flags early, and save thousands by not falling for the clever tactics that look harmless on the surface. If you find value here, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next wave of warnings I wish I didn't have to make. Let's talk about one of the biggest moves happening right now. You'll see a buyer come in with an all-cash offer, proudly waving their checkbook like a golden ticket. They negotiate a discount because, hey, they're making life easy. The seller's relieved because cash means no lender drama, and everyone celebrates until halfway through escrow. The buyer suddenly says, actually, rates are high, and I don't want to liquidate my investments, so I'm switching to a small loan instead. That's not a small change. It introduces a whole circus of appraisals, lender conditions, delays, and stress the seller never agreed to. And if you're a seller and you see proof of funds coming from overseas accounts or retirement accounts or a portfolio that looks like it hasn't moved in 5 years, you need to assume there is a chance that the cash buyer will not stay all cash. Negotiate accordingly, because more risk should mean more price. And yes, sellers, if a buyer switches from cash to financing after acceptance, you're not stuck. You can absolutely say no because that wasn't the deal you agreed to. It happens more often than you think, and it's becoming a very real tactic. Now, let's move on to contingency games. Buyers right now know demand is soft, and so they're promising to remove all contingencies in 17 days, including loan contingency. Then, when day 17 arrives, they say, well, I only got the conditional approval, so I'm not comfortable removing the loan contingency until I have the clear to close. And a clear to close usually shows up 3 to 5 days before closing. I've seen buyers remove contingencies, all the contingencies on day 25, some day 28, even the day before closing. Sellers absolutely lose their minds and they issue notices of buyer to perform, threaten to cancel, and the buyer just shrugs. Go get a new buyer then, they say. And the truth is, the next buyer will probably do the same thing. Rates are high with a good amount of inventory, and buyers have options. So they're stretching these contingency deadlines as far as humanly possible. It's miserable for the sellers, but unfortunately, very common. Another tactic that makes me want to scream into a pillow is the can we move some stuff into the garage early question. The buyers call me and says, Nathan, all contingencies are removed. Can I just move a few boxes in, maybe a couch? We're so close to closing. Absolutely not. The answer is always no. I don't care if it's one box or a whole moving truck. Until your check clears, it's not your house. If someone breaks in and steals their furniture, guess who's liable? Not the buyer, the seller. If the buyer slips and falls and decides to get creative with their story, who's liable? The seller. This is not kindergarten. We do not share the garage. Same goes for the key handoffs. The keys stay put until the deal is funded and recorded. No exceptions. Another request that needs to die. Can the buyers and sellers meet in person during the final walkthrough? Listen, no, absolutely not. California is a litigious state. People get nervous. People get bold. People start fishing for reasons to back out without losing their earnest money. I've seen sellers accidentally say something harmless like, oh yeah, the gardener handles the sprinklers. And suddenly, the buyer starts a full-blown investigation into whether the irrigation system is a ticking time bomb. You do not put buyers and sellers together. That's how a deal can fall apart quickly. Now here's a fun one. Some buyers want to test the garage by pulling their massive truck inside before closing. They want to see if it fits, which sounds innocent until you realize this is essentially a demolition test. If they hit a wall, floor the gas instead of the brake, or take out a support beam, no earnest money deposit in the world is going to be big enough to fix that damage. So the answer is no. You measure, use tape, use string, use a banana for scale, but don't bring a full-size vehicle into the seller's home before closing. One tactic that crosses the line into illegal is agents trying to renegotiate commissions behind the scenes. I heard a conversation recently that made my eyes twitch. A buyer agent said, "I'll bring you an offer, but I want an extra % if you want the deal." And if you're a seller and your agent gets hit with this response, report that agent to their brokerage immediately. And if you're a buyer, you should always ask your agent to show you their commission on the final closing statement. It should match what was offered in the signed purchase agreement and buyer representation agreement. Nothing more. No side deals. No surprise payouts. This industry has enough drama already. We don't need to back alley commission negotiations. 2 final tips to protect yourself. Sellers, hire a really good agent. A great agent can save you tens of thousands and saves you from copious amounts of stress. And staging matters now more than ever. Homes are taking longer to sell, and staged homes consistently sell faster and for a higher price. Whether you stage it yourself or hire a professional, just make sure it's staged. The market is intense, creative, and full of surprises right now. If you want someone who knows how to navigate it all without losing their minds, you can reach out to me anytime. I'm here to help California buyers and sellers get through this process smoothly and safely. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next wave of market-saving tips. I'm Nathan King. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.